and welcome to Long's Toys. I have a Transformers Generations Combiner Wars review for you today. This is Breakneck, basically Wildrider. I guess they couldn't get the name Wildrider, so they decided to call this guy Breakneck. Basically, he's kind of a repaint slash retool of Dead End, but done as Wildrider here. Nice picture of his alt mode and his robot mode. I will zoom in here so you can take a look at his little bio. Alright. See, an out-of-control Wildrider. Haha! Little Easter egg there for G1 fans. Basically, when they did the Stunticons and they did the aerial bots, they did kind of one imposter in each team. You had Alpha Bravo for the aerial bots, and you had Off-Road for the Stunticons. So to go back and appease the kind of G1 fans who, purists, they want the real team, they did repaint slash retools of Firefly into Quickslinger or Slingshot, and then they did Dead End into Breakneck or Wildrider. So I think he looks pretty great. He does come with an IDW comic book here in the back. We'll go ahead and get him out of the packaging and take a closer look. Alright, so here's Breakneck out of the packaging. And I'm pretty much just going to call him Wildrider from now on, because to me, that's who he is. I think he looks really good. I do like the head sculpt. I'll zoom in here. I do like it. He's got those kind of weird horns on the side of his head, just like G1 Wildrider had. So I appreciate that. I think he looks pretty good. I don't think there's any light piping. No. The eyes are too small anyway to even have light piping. But the figure itself does look pretty good. I mean, he's got pretty much all the same articulation that Dead End had. Head's on a ball joint, a little bit up and down, mostly side to side. Got a ball joint here in the shoulder, as well as a little bit of a movement here, like a second shoulder joint, but that's mostly for the transformation. You have a bicep swivel, pretty much 90 degrees in the elbow. Wrist just moves in as part of the transformation toward the forearm. Then you have some waist articulation, ball joint in the hip, thigh swivel, and then pretty much 90 degrees in the knee. So, very nice. I also really like the purple here on the chest. The area around and the Decepticon symbol all look very, very nice. Very cool. From the back, not really sure why that's off center. I think it's just because, I think on Dead End he had a stripe here, so that's why it was off center. But there's no stripe here, so I'm not sure why it's off center for him as well. I guess maybe just the paint, they use the same template to paint it. Again, not positive on that, just conjecture. But yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll get into his transformation. Actually, before we get into the transformation, I wanted to bring in his mold brother. So here's Dead End. And you can see that these guys do look pretty similar. Same legs, same chest, same arms. Really just the heads and the paint are different. Otherwise, they look pretty much identical. Not that Firefly and Slingshot had a lot of differences, but... And of course, he does come with the same weird exhaust gun sword pipe thing. I'm not really sure what that's supposed to be, but it's pretty much the same accessory. And then of course he comes with the standard foot hand combination thing. So I think they look good. Look good together. The other thing is I wanted to just show off, this is his kind of doppelganger. When you put them next to each other, they don't really look that similar. They kind of have a similar paint job. They're both kind of red with the gray. And I thought Off-Road looked good. I mean, I do definitely like having Wildrider, but I do think Off-Road looked good. I think he's a fun toy, and I'm interested to get the retool slash repaint of him as First Aid in the Protectobots, which is coming up soon. Those hopefully should be out soonish. Okay, but now that we've taken a look at those two things, we'll go ahead and get into the transformation. Alright, so I'm going to go through this transformation pretty quickly because it is very similar to Dead Ends, which we've seen already. So we're just going to fold the hands into the forearm, and the ratchets on mine are ridiculously tight. I don't know if that's something that'll just get a little bit looser as we go on. You fold the arms down, push the feet together. One thing I did want to mention, though, as I was kind of messing with this before I started recording, you have to lift this up and you kind of, push it forward, and then there's the tabs go into these pegs, but mine is really, really tight. Like, you have to kind of push each one in individually, and then when you go to close this, that's fine. But then trying to lift this back out, like, I have to lift it up with my finger while I'm putting pressure here. It's almost like the joint doesn't want to go. Like, it gets stuck over here. Because I've already got stress marks. If you can see it, it's kind of a bummer. I've already got a little bit of stress marks here from trying to pull it up just by that. So I don't know if mine's just tight or if it's just a weird thing, but when you're playing with yours, just be careful, because when you're transforming it back to robot mode, you're going to want to put pressure here to flip it back, because you want to make sure the pressure's on that joint, because it's just really tight, and I really don't want to snap it off right there. So do not just lift it by this if yours is tight like mine is. Yours might be fine. I'm not sure. It's just really weird. And I'm kind of bummed that a toy I just got out of the packaging already has stress marks. But it does happen from time to time. I've got my trusty off-road as a backup if anything should happen to Wildrider in the line of duty. So anyway, you go ahead, get it all there, and there we have the vehicle mode. So it is a very nice vehicle mode. Again, it's a little weird that that's off-center. I kind of would have liked it just nice front and center, but not a huge deal. Red on the sides. Honestly, in my personal preference, I kind of would have been fine if this all was just the same gray color. I really do like the gray, and it looks great with the dark maroon windshield. I mean, I don't mind the red on the side, but I would have been just as happy if it was gray. I understand why they're trying to introduce a little bit more color. But yeah, I think he looks pretty great. I believe you can pop this on if you'd like. You could also put this on in the little hole up top here. But I think both look kind of stupid, so yeah, there you go. I think it's a good looking car mode. So here's a nice group shot of the 5 Stunticons, the actual 5 Stunticons. Not that I don't have love for Off-Road, I do think he's a good figure. Just this is the actual 5 core team. Here's a nice shot of Menasor. I decided to do the 2 legs here in the G1 fashion, having the bottom of the car face forward. And I like to keep his chest plate closed up after you take the head out, just a personal preference. Obviously, any of these limbs can be interchanged and used as arms or legs. Ultimately, I'm really happy to have Wildrider in my collection. I really did like Off-Road, and I didn't think I needed a replacement until I got Wildrider in hand, and I really like him. I think the Dead End was definitely the right mold to repaint and retool into him. My only complaint about the figure is what I showed earlier, where the front of the car, the hood of the front, when you're trying to plug it in, it's a little tight, so just be careful. And then also when you're trying to remove the windshield back from vehicle mode back into robot mode, it's very tight, and I already have some stress marks, which is a bummer. But that's my only real complaint, and I don't know why mine happens to be very tight in those 2 areas. It might not be a common occurrence. Yours might not be a problem. Just be cautious of it so you don't end up with stress marks as well. Ultimately, I really do like the figure. I'd like to hear from you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Please like and share this video. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I hope you've enjoyed this look at Transformers Generations Combiner Wars Breakneck, aka Wildrider, and thanks for watching.